Call to order the meeting of Independent School District 695, Chisholm, Minnesota, their truth and taxation meeting. And can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Okay.
Second.
Motion
Do
by.
I need to go through and put that everybody's here?
Yeah.
I need to roll call.
Okay, I want to roll call.
All right, Randa Sutter here, Lappy here, Raha,
Here.
Rice here, Carly Simon here, Board Chair Casey.
Here. All right, we do have a motion to approve the agenda by Director Raha. Did we get a second?
Sure. Yes.
By Director Lappy. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And presentation of the tax levy and fiscal 2024 budget. Alex, you are on. Maybe we should also have Alex, our business, noted that it should be noted in the minutes that it's being done via video. Alex is a little under the weather. So Alex will try not to ask too many questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is the board able to see my my slideshow?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so again, sorry I wasn't able to be there tonight, and I appreciate the accommodations from superintendent and the board and Lisa and Joe and everyone that helped. So I do appreciate that, and this is one that I would not miss unless I really didn't feel up to it. So I'm gonna this is kind of the same format that we've done in the last couple of years since I've been around, and I'm just gonna move through it, flip right along, and you guys interrupt me at any time or save a question for the end, or just jump in anytime if you want to ask something or make a point. So this is the truth in taxation and budget information for Chisholm schools for the payable 2024 levy. It's the agenda of what we're going to cover, the meeting requirements while we're doing it, a discussion on the levy and where everything landed, and anything that made anything change in the levy, and then a quick budget review that was approved last June, a look at the revenue expense, and then I always end with the closing on the enrollment history. So truth in taxation is statutorily required that the county send out the proposed tax property or statements, and if you own property, you know this because you just got yours within the last couple of weeks, but it's required that all taxing jurisdictions, not just schools, but counties, cities, townships, and any other public entity that usually, not always, have to hold a hearing prior to certifying the final levy. And this will satisfy the district's requirement for truth in taxation statutes. The district is required to present information on the proposed property tax levy. This is payable in 2024, certified in 2023. A quick review of the budget, and then the district will have time at the end for any public comments. This is just an overview of how the process kind of works. So starting in July, in the summer.
Alex,
Yeah.
I'm going to stop you right for a second. Save your breath just until you get to the meat and potatoes. And I'm going to help you out here, and I'll just read this part for you so that it can be read out loud. Try to save your voice. School districts start the levy process 6 months before the calendar year the taxes are collected in, and 1 year before the fiscal year the taxes are recorded in. Minnesota Department of Education creates the levy document. District in 2000, certified in 2023, district board adopts the final levy in December of 2023. The levy process actually starts in July of 2023, the summer levy. Then it's the payables are overlapping because we're in a different fiscal year. Property owners pay taxes in May of 2024 and October of 2024 based on the levy certified in December of 2023. Reconciliation entries are required since tax receipts fall into 2 different fiscal years and must be in fiscal year 2025.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So to the numbers, this total levy of $2,161,307.18. This is an increase of 172,179.41 from the payable 2023 levy, and we'll get into just why here shortly. Some significant changes. The biggest one that was easiest to identify is the debt service on some voter approved debt, and it's the one we did last year. And I asked the question, why would our amount of levy go up for a debt that is, the same level of repayment over the life of it? And the answers that I got were that in year one, there's probably some adjustments, there's probably some accrued interest, and that made the levy amount for the waterproof debt from last year slightly less than what it is for this year. And this was all based on amortization schedule that was provided to us by Barrett and Ingenza. And it's truly nothing that the board has control over. After the voters approved that referendum, we simply uploaded the amortization schedule to MDE, and they basically know what they're going to levy for the next 20 years, or whatever the term of it was. So that was probably the biggest chunk. And I'll talk about the next one a little bit more, but taconite adjustments, taconite production fell a little bit for the last year, but there's more on that next. And then market value and net tax capacity. This is data reflected from 2022. So market value and tax capacity will change how taxes are spread in a taxing jurisdiction. And most people know that 2022 values and the overall tax capacity increased significantly, especially if you are a property owner and you get your tax statement. You can see that values went up and in the district. So it all changes how taxes are spread in the jurisdiction. The OPEB removal piece was an interesting conversation that we had with Superintendent Morrison and the Chair Mark Casey, but we were advised that the amount of money in our OPEB trust, which was bonded for in 2009, is really in excess of the liability at the current time. So we removed that the OPEB levy for now. And my understanding is that if there came a time where we were too underfunded with our trust, that we could add that back in, as so long as there is a sunset in the contracts for post-employment benefits. And then lastly, other adjustments, mostly small. I mean, there's adjustments on some capital and smaller levies that aren't, they all add up, but none in themselves is super as substantial as the top four items there. This is a history of the taconite for the last 6 years. So based on a 3-year average, you can see that we dropped off 644 and picked up 434,000. So that drives down our what we receive from taconite. But as it says, it's revenue neutral to the district. So less is coming from taconite dollars and more gets placed on the local. So that was part of, that adds to an increase in taxes for our local taxpayers. Hopefully production goes back up and the production tax covers more, and then in that case it would come off of the local taxpayers. This is the levy history, and obviously 22-23 was when that referendum was passed, but overall a really pretty good track record of the district for flat levies. Not a lot of ups and downs and all over the place. So I mean, the one year where that it took a big jump, that was voter approved. And the final levy adoption tonight, 6 o'clock after this presentation, hopefully. We'll take a quick look at the budget, the second half of our presentation, but this is what was approved in June. You can see general fund is our first fund there. At the time we were having conversations about how we wanted to use some of our ESSER money and what that's going to look like because it expires in 2 years. Well, decision was made to draw most of that balance. And when Sterls come, you'll see our fund balance actually went up for fiscal year 23, and that's as a result of those dollars being infused. So we have to revise this, relook at this, and what does that mean for 2024? What does that mean for 2025? Those are conversations that we'll have to have, but that was kind of the thinking at the time was, well, how are we going to allocate the rest of these dollars until the life of them expires? But in food service, INAC does a great job keeping transportation. We've been seeing that edge up a little bit in Chisholm in the last couple of years, and I think, and this is not specific to Chisholm, but generally speaking, special transport costs are going up. More need and more, one-on-one. And it's just very expensive. But I mean, generally Chisholm does quite a good job of managing that. Community ed, again, pretty balanced. Now that there's some changes with programming and how services are being shared with Chisholm, maybe we can maximize that a little more, make it a little more efficient, but generally speaking, fairly healthy. And then capital, we strive to keep that balanced. Not always the case, not like in the last year. We did okay in our general fund, but we spent a lot of money in capital as we knew with emergency repairs and bus purchases and things of that nature. Excuse me. The construction fund, that was the projection from, I believe, Ingenza, that's the amount of work in process that would happen in fiscal year 24, and the revenue follows that as we draw those funds down. Debt service, increased from higher years, but that by its own nature is a balanced fund, as we have the authority to levy and receive state aid in the amount of our expenses. The trust and the Fund 18, the scholarships, those are both scholarships, but the different type of scholarship depending on who gets to determine where awards go, but they're both scholarships, and what goes in comes out. And then student activity speaks for itself, same type style of fund. Then Fund 45 is our trust money. We're planning to draw 291,000 in post-employment expenses in fiscal year 24, which is all of our expenses as part of that conversation we had earlier. And then sorry, there's a typo on Fund 47. It should be 738,097, not 763.
Should it be 638, 197? You're showing a deficit of 100,000.
Yes, okay, there. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yep, 638,097. And that is our debt service for bonds issued in 2009 for the OPEB trust. So any questions, or I can keep moving and wait till the end, or?
Keep moving.
This is our source of revenue. I always say it's a misconception that your local taxpayers pay for your schools, but in the case of Chisholm, only 9% is local levy, and that's probably on the very low end in the state, just because we get additional taconite dollars. But yeah, so that's the percent that comes from the local sources. And then of the expenses, kind of skewed this year. A lot of it, capital is showing 47%. That's misleading because it has construction costs in there. But generally speaking, 70 to 80% of what we spend is going to go salaries, wages, purchase services. But in this current year, it's showing those construction costs in capital. And then a nice graph with our enrollment history, and it went in the right direction, or it appears to be going in the right direction for the school year. So we'll call that a win. And that's all I have to present on, unless there's comments from the board or anyone that wishes to address the board or me.
Alex, I know I've mentioned or asked this question of you but I forgot the answer. Depreciation?
Yeah. Yeah. So when we enter, or we purchase an asset, we do put it into our overall finance software, and it automatically depreciates. Not automatically, but when we're done processing the financial statements, it depreciates based on the formulas that are already in there. And I think there's some obscure pages in the audit report which will be coming soon that address depreciation, but you know, we did add several assets in the last year, and mostly in terms of buses and vehicles, and um but we can definitely I would refer to Bonnie and Jeff Sterl for that technical.
Okay, yeah, that's,
That's okay.
yeah, that's fine.
But it is processed, and it's processed through the help of ARC. Once we enter our fixed assets and release our disposals, they run the entries to process the depreciation. So
Board, do you have any other questions for Alex? Alex, maybe if you can jump back and maybe throw the expense sheet back up there.
this one or the other one?
The other one.
This one.
Right there.
Yeah, and I'm just putting it up there so we all can see where the expenses are and the projected deficits, so.
Yep.
And maybe the board has got some questions on that.
And part of
Alex,
the
one of these years I'm gonna understand this, but not today.
understand.
The
It's very
OPEB,
complicated. And it's
OPEB debt service and trust fund.
Yep.
So from my understanding, we have retiree health benefits that we pay out of this. And so we take out of OPEB what we need to pay those benefits. Am I correct?
That is correct, and that's where we ran into where we needed to talk about it, because the board had historically not been drawing nearly enough out of that trust. Now we're getting these large negative adjustments on our levy because the state's saying you can't levy for this. You have money sitting in a trust with an expiration on it. So
Yeah,
that was a conversation we had in I don't September, but
yeah,
that'll cover the bulk of our costs without adding to the levy anymore. So, and it's the responsible thing to do. So
okay. So this is because, so we don't have to tap into the general fund to pay this.
we don't. Yep. I think don't quote me on this, but our liability is quite highly funded for our post-employment benefits. And like I said, if things started to slip and a bunch of people got on the plan and we had, then we could revisit the levy, but I just don't see that happening. There's
Yeah,
not a lot of staff that even qualify this anymore that aren't already retired. And
yeah. Okay.
that's what it's there for. We don't want our people to pay for it twice. That's what it's there for.
Okay.
And regarding, I was just going to say,
Can you repeat what you just said, Alex? I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry, I interrupted, but regarding some of the deficits and some of the, I'm looking at our general fund, I'm looking at our transportation, our capital. I mean, theoretically, and this was discussed 2 years ago when we started going down the path, but once we're on one site, one campus, that will change some of this and help us, I think, in many ways. And that was part of the sell on the whole thing, I believe. So
Any other questions for Alex? Obviously, Alex is available 24 hours a day.
call me anytime.
And are we smiling at the audit review or no?
Yes, we are. Yep.
Okay, good.
But
I just said it wouldn't have been a little bit helpful if we would have heard the audit before we heard this, but I understand that wasn't possible, but.
It was
I
with the
was
caveat that
curious.
we drew our ESSER fund, so, but we'll
Yeah.
take it.
Perfect. Great.
Sterling and Associates gave me a call last week and they seemed pretty pleased.
Oh, good.
Um,
She won't be giving us that.
Well,
stink
Bonnie
eye.
always gives you
She'll
a
give you a stink
very
eye.
concerned eye.
Also notice how Jeff sits in the background and doesn't say anything.
One of the questions that they asked of me is to ask of the board, beforehand, if you might have any questions that we can bring forward to them before we have the audit meeting, so they can be prepared also, but I'm sure they're more than prepared for our questions.
For our questions,
yeah, I was gonna say, they're not
How
gonna do that.
would we have questions until we hear what they have to say? You know?
Yeah.
This part, yeah.
Well, I do
Just
sit
by-
around and
Just by what you
think.
see.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think about questions for the auditor, just sit around, do that all day long.
I'm scared of the auditor. I don't.
Then, Mr. Chair, I'll send out the statements in advance of that meeting, at least as soon as I can. So you can at least flip through it if you need some light reading.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Alex.
Any other questions for Alex?
Merry Christmas, Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
At this time, I'll entertain any questions from the public. Should the public have any questions of the board, that Alex or any of us could try to answer? Hearing none, we've had this meeting open for 23 minutes. Our business manager is done with his presentation. So I will move on to item 3B, adopting and certifying the final 2023 payable 2024 levy as presented.
So made.
Motion by Karati Simon, support by Director Raha. Is that right?
Yeah.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Alex, for your time.
Thanks,
Hopefully
Alex.
you'll feel a little bit better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alex. Get better. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Aye.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn our truth and taxation meeting.
So made.
Support.
Motion by Director Raha, support by Director
Randa Sauter.
Landis. Any discussion? I'm assuming not. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned at 6:23 PM. Thank you.